October 12th, 2013. Just got done, and actually done. It's like 2.5 hours, still 30 minutes. A documentary going over the last 20 years of the life of Pearl Jam. They got a new album coming out on the 15th, which happens to be Travis's birthday, but 15th of October. And the documentary is Pearl Jam 20. So if you go back 20 years, 1993, I'm going to be playing a song here at the end called Daughter, and that was pretty much the hype. It was their second album they released, and it was pretty much a hit. So when hit the started maxing out. I think 92 did a lot of Palooza tours. So I just looked, and they are going to be on tour, but they're hitting like on the other side, so east of Chicago, and going down East Coast and through the South, and then up, meeting up in Seattle where they're from, and then heading over to Europe. So they're missing the whole central part here, but of course it's wintertime, and bands don't tour in the north in the wintertime. So probably next year or sometime they'll strike up a summer tour and probably come to the cities here, especially since Chicago was listed. Chicago and St. Louis and Minneapolis, and how many other Midwestern towns. I guess if you count those three, it's about it. But anyway, one of the few bands that I've not seen, but very heavily, say, the 90s influenced by them. I remember listening to them a lot in Floodwood. I think one of the first CDs, and there's a handful of CDs. We made our first trip back to Oklahoma at the time. Mother cracked her ankle there. There was three or four CDs. My first CDs that we bought, because we just started getting into computers, and our first CD was a computer disc CD. But the car that we used to go down there, we put a CD player in, and I bought 4 CDs, and one of them was Pearl Jam. It was Pearl Jam, and I'm going to say another group I've seen, Soundgarden, which I've seen earlier, first group seen in 2013 after a 17-year hiatus, released an album, and got to see them on tour here this year. The other one was Bush and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Seen them last year. So few groups that from the 90s that make the rounds. I think all these groups eventually recycle themselves and push out like an anniversary disc or two. But it was interesting seeing Birth, Soundgarden, the group I seen earlier this year, is from Seattle as well, and they kind of did one of their earlier collaborations was pretty popular at the time and got a lot of airplay. So those bands that kind of bounced off of one another and toured. That Lollapalooza thing was big, a big thing for many years with like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Pearl Jam and I think even System of a Down played a few of the stints there, as well as Soundgarden and other ones. But interesting how you see the life of a band, how it evolves over the years. People come, people go. But yeah, it's good to hear that they're back together. So interesting. Probably would have to go get that one and listen to it. This song that I'm gonna play now called Daughter. There's a song because part of the lyrics is "Don't call me daughter." And when we moved up to Floodwood, we used to have to, before we got our mailbox put up, we'd had to go down to the post office, which was down on Main Street there in Floodwood, because we lived 5 miles out of town. And the gal there, got to know her quite well because we'd see her every week. We'd come up before we actually moved up, come up and worked a little bit on the property. And I remember walking in and said, "Hello, Mom," and she started talking, and she turned around and she thought I was her daughter. And then that song came to mind, "Don't Call Me Daughter." But anyway, very good song, 1993, so 20 years ago. Pearl Jam. We're back in the news, rehashing old words. October 12th, 2013.